What is up, everyone? JD here with another everyday carry video for you. Today I'm going to be going over my carries for the week of October 18th, 2021. I'm going to start with a pocket check. Today I am carrying my Cold Steel AD15 with the Scorpion lock. This particular variant is the S45VN. It is a 3.5 inch blade. It is a satin finish, so no coating, no stone washing or anything. Really hard. Let me see if I can clean up my fingerprints off of there. I was using a little bit earlier to break down some boxes, so it's got fingerprints and smudges all over it. But it has a really beautiful grind, even though it has that satin finish, so I really do like that a lot. Anyway, that's what's in my pocket today. Let's go ahead. Actually, I'm going to move that off to the side because it's not going to be in my rotation this week. Starting off on Monday, I am going to go with a Carta Monday carry. And as you can see here, this was recently unboxed. This is the CJRB Feldspar. This particular variant is the 3.5 inch D2 steel with a stone washed finished, and it is done in a drop point style. The pivots are on bearing and the blade grind is a flat grind. The handles are 4.5 inch and they are in a really pretty burlap micarta that I really like. And they did a little brands. They did a bronze accent washer here over the pivot. It's a pivot collar on that micarta, and I think it's really tasteful. It looks really nice in my opinion. Now, the overall length of this knife is 8 inches, and it is a reversible, tip-up only, deep carry pocket clip. The other thing that I really like about this particular knife is it has inset steel liners, so when you're examining the knife from many different angles, you really don't notice the liners like you do on typical knives. Even on the non-show side, they have that knockout, and you can get to the liner lock. You can't see it from the show and non-show side. Well, you can see it from the show side when it's open, but it's very discreet, and I think that's a really classy design. I really like that. Now, the weight of this particular knife is 4 ounces. On this channel, 4 ounces and under is lightweight. Anything under 3 ounces is ultra lightweight. So that's going to be, and its deployment method, I almost forgot, is thumb studs only. So you can Spidey flick this. The action on it is really good, and then you can thumb deploy. Really fidgetable knife. I really do like that. The action is just really good. I mean, it's really good on those bearings. And you know, I haven't posted at the time of this video the review, but there's like no lockup, no blade lash at all, and then there's no detent rattle either. So that's Monday's carry, my Carta Monday CJRB Feldspar. On Tuesday, I am going to go Tonto, but I'm going to go reverse Tonto Tuesday. I've really been enjoying this knife. This is the Malibu from ProTech. It has a 3.3 inch stone washed 20 CV blade. It is a flat grind, and again, the blade shape is that reverse Tonto. This is my first reverse Tonto, and I'll be honest, I'm really liking it. I'm usually into the drop points and the clip points and things of that nature as far as like an EDC knife that can kind of flex and do a lot of stuff, but I am really enjoying the Tonto because it feels at least equally as versatile, maybe even a little bit more, because of the fact that you can really get that point into spots that you might struggle a little bit with, like slipping off with the drop point. This here kind of gets you into a really good angle into some of the positions. What's coming to mind is like when I've had to cut away some zip ties, really getting there into the tip with this. Not that it's hard with the drop point, I'm just saying it's easier with the reverse Tonto. But back to the knife, again, 3.3 inch length on the reverse Tonto blade, and that is finished in 20 CV, just an incredible steel. The integrated aluminum handles that you can see here done in this blue and you can see the integration here with the hidden lanyard hole. That is 4.25 inches, making the entire knife just over 7.5 inches. Now, because it is done with these aluminum scales, and it is a little bit classier looking in my opinion, it is right hand only tip up, and it is a deep carry pocket clip, and it's done really, really well. If you look at the shaping on that particular pocket clip, while it doesn't come in, which is kind of my favorite style, where it almost folds over and immediately comes in and then swoops up, that snake up, or whatever you want to call that, is so minor and not dramatic at all. You don't really even feel it once you've got it in hand. And the ergos on this knife just really give you a bunch of different positions to put your hand in to do whatever task it is that you're trying to accomplish with this knife. Really like it. Flipper tab, it's on bearings, it's 2.99 ounces, and I just finished saying that makes this an ultra lightweight pocket carry. Like, you lose this when you put it in your pocket, meaning you don't feel that it's there. I really appreciate that for something that is this capable. And the deployment method is a flipper tab, but the unlock method is the button lock, and the action is superb. The bearings and everything done really, really, really well. Liking this knife a lot. That is going to be my Tonto Tuesday, but that's going to be my reverse Tonto for Tuesday. Now, on Wednesday, I'm going with a Warcliff Wednesday for my carry, and that's going to be my Spyderco Smock. And in this particular instance, this is the Blade HQ exclusive. It is a 3.5 inch coated M4 blade. That is, again, a Warcliff shape according to Spyderco. It is a hollow grind. This thing is really a slicer, but that heavy spine helps it be more durable and tough in my mind, and M4 by itself is tough as well. The handles are the natural jade G10 handles, which are 4.5 inches, making the total knife 8.5 inches overall. It is on bearings, and it is 3.4 ounces, which is lightweight, just over ultra lightweight by 0.4 ounces, almost at 4 ounces, 0.4 ounces. The wonderful thing about this knife, and one of the reasons that it's still one of my favorites to carry, is because it has so many, it has so many deployment methods. You got your flipper tab, you got your thumb hole that you can Spidey flick from, that you can thumb flick from, and I'm going to raise it up a little bit here so I don't do that again. And you can do this little ridiculous show-off thing there. I don't even know what you would call that. Would you call that a handle deployment? I have no idea. The action is phenomenal. It feels really, really smooth, and just really well tuned. I don't know why I said that like that. Really well tuned. This knife, I'm really enjoying it. I highly recommend it. I don't know what else I can say about it. That is going to be Warcliff Wednesday, the Spyderco Smock. Oops, a little too close there. Thursday, I am going to rotate into my CIVIVI button lock. This time, I'm going to be carrying the G2 variant. Did I just say G2? I think I just said G2. I don't know what's happening today. I am so sorry. This is my G10 variant. So the G10 handles are 4.5 inches. The blade is 3.4 inches, and it is a coated 14C28N. Really good, tough steel. Not quite as good edge retention as D2, but as you know, D2 is very hard to sharpen versus 14C28N. That's not to say that this does not have good edge retention. This has really good performing edge retention, and it is just as tough as D2, but it is easier to sharpen. So I would say if you're, regularly cutting down cardboard boxes, after 6 months, you might need to sharpen this up, whereas you probably won't with the D2 until you get to like 8 months. That's just a rough estimate. That all depends how many boxes, how big are the boxes. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how close and how similar these two steels are. Just D2 is going to have an advantage because it's going to go longer with that edge before you have to sharpen it, and 14C28N is going to lets you get that sharpened edge back quicker with a little less effort. So a little bit of trade-off depending on what your priority is. The knife itself is 8 inches overall. Again, button lock. This is definitely on bearings. CIVIVI does the ceramic cage bearings, which always in any knife that I've ever had from them, phenomenal action. Just feels like a premium knife the way the action is on this knife. The action on this knife is really good. Any CIVIVI that I've interacted with just has phenomenal action. It is a reversible, tip up only, deep carry pocket clip. It does have that, and I keep talking about this particular pocket clip. This is a newer pocket clip from CIVIVI. If you look at their older one, so I'm going to grab my Elementum really quick. If you look at the older one, you can see it's kind of squared off. And I just realized I like leaned in to do this, and I'm like right on the mic. I'm sorry if that got loud for a second. But you see on the Elementum here how it actually tapers down, both straight, like that straight line taper from the back where it folds, and also here for where it catches the pocket. And for some reason, CIVIVI has gone to this pocket clip that points straight up, and it makes a hot spot. I'm not going to get into this too much because I feel like I do it every time I pull out a CIVIVI for the video, but I wanted to at least kind of show you why I'm complaining so much, because they definitely changed it, and that characteristic makes a difference. Now, because this is a bigger knife than the Elementum, I can move my hand, and that allows me to, this is going to be really difficult to do, but it allows me to kind of line it up so that it's in between the fingers and I'm not really feeling it right before the webbing of my fingers. This is a really nice knife, 3.6 ounces. No, I'm sorry, 3.4 ounces. 3.4 ounces. The Smock is 3.6 ounces. I had to write them down because I can't keep them straight. I have too many knives, I'm sorry, so 3.6 was the Smock. That's Thursday's carry. Friday, I wanted to carry something I hadn't carried in a little while, and that's because I had some new knives, but also because of the finish of this particular knife. I didn't want to carry this a whole lot because I didn't want to damage it. And that's not to say I don't think it's tough enough, but it's the only knife that I have that's got these finishing touches. So I kind of baby it a little bit and take care of it. That's not to say that I haven't cut with it and I don't use it and I don't carry it, but I'm a little bit more selective on the days that I do. So on Friday, I'm going to be carrying my CIVIVI Riffle, and this is a flipper on bearings. It is a hand-rubbed Damascus finish, and it has the sandalwood finish as well. So hopefully what I was saying just a moment ago makes a little bit more sense to you guys. This is a reversible tip-up only, deep carry pocket clip. What's different about this particular model, and I don't know if it's because of the wood, it has the bolt here on the show side that helps secure the handles in place. But what you would have to do if you want to reverse it is you would have to take the pocket clips out and flip over that bolt here that's holding the handles on to the other side. So that is a little bit more involved, I guess I would say, if you wanted to reverse it, but I'm assuming you're only going to do that once depending on whether or not you're carrying it right hand or left hand. So the 3.5 inch hand rubbed Damascus blade, it's done in a drop point style. This one here has a lot of belly. That Damascus to me is really pretty. It looks really good. I love the fact that CIVIVI is making some Damascus affordable. The other thing that I like about this it has the ceramic cage ball bearings that all CIVIVIs come with, if they have the bearings. And the flipper tab action is really nice. You can light switch and you can push deploy, whatever your preference is. I kind of like to push. I like to light switch into a push on my knives, and I seem to be able to do that with any of them regardless of the deployment method, with a few exceptions. The handle length 4.5 inches. Overall length is 8 inches. I think all my knives are 8 inches or just about this week. I didn't even mean to do that when I was trying to think of what I wanted to carry, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, all of them are 8 inches. Weird. Anyway, the weight 3.4 ounces, and yes, this is 3.4 ounces, and so is the button lock. This is a really lightweight knife. I don't think I see too many people on YouTube talk about the Riffle, and that's probably because of the fact that it has that belly style to it. This is a really affordable knife. I want to say the base model with the micarta and blade steel, I think the blade steel and it's 14C28N again, same as the button lock here. Belly is probably not like as popular. Something with this much belly is probably not as popular as for an EDC knife, but it's really got a really nice edge. This particular one is a flat grind all the way up to the top out on the ends, and then it stops right before the thumb hole here. It does have a little bit of jimping back here, and the flipper tab does a nice job keeping your hand in position. The wood is surprisingly tacky. I think whatever it is that they use to put the finish on the top is what helps keep that tackiness in place. So I really do appreciate that. The action's really good on this. Came centered and has remained centered from the factory. It's going to be hard to see that. Let me try to turn the light up just a little and see if that helps because of this black blade. I think that helped a little bit. I'll try to zoom in then for you as well. The finishing on it is really, really nice. It is hand rubbed according to CIVIVI. And again, the action's really nice. I just really do like this knife a lot. This is going to be my Friday carry, hopefully. Let me move this out a little bit more, sorry. Oh, let me adjust here. I have it up so high because I have to try to get it to where my hands can kind of see. How about that? There you go. Well, I can go up just a touch. There you go. So that's my carry for next week. I know I went on a little bit longer. I was really excited. I'm really excited about the the CJRB feldspar. This micarta, this burlap micarta, I like it a lot. But man, they have micarta, G10, whatever you like and whatever tickles your fancy out there. And man, the affordability of this knife is outstanding. Loving the ProTech. My first ProTech. Don't have any automatic knives, and I really don't know about automatic knives. I think if I wanted to try them out, I'd probably go with the Kalashnikov from Boker if I were going to try one out. I know the action's not as good as like a ProTech. I really just don't know. I really like manual. I love the fidget factor of the button lock, and I feel like automatic knives and assisted knives kind of take away from that a little bit. Really loving the Smock. Like, holy cow, how is this not a more popular model? People out there, calm down in the comments. How is this not more popular than the Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3? Like, this knife is wicked. It has the flipper tab. It has the Spidey hole thumb hole. It has a push button. I know it's a compression lock with the button that comes through to the other side. And I talked about that in my review of the knife. So I'm not going to dive back into that again. I don't have that tendency. But this knife for EDC is outstanding. I highly recommend you get yourself on a wait list or a notification email set up for them when they come in. Even if you just get the base model one, I think it runs close to the same price of the other two knives, depending on the model. But really love that knife. And then again, the button lock, this is just a lot of fun. I know it's not probably practical because it doesn't have, you can pinch open it. Not with my big fingers, but you can pinch open it as well. But you can, you can get this out relatively easy. Honestly, with my button lock knives and Axis lock and Able lock knives, I'm deploying them using the untraditional method. There are some instances where I thumb deploy it, but I know that I know what I need to do. Like, I've had this knife long enough that the muscle memory for this knife, even if I haven't carried it and just, a little bit, like right there, I didn't flick it quite right. The muscle memory comes back really fast. And, even if you miss, I tried to miss there. Even if you miss it, pushing it closed, it's no different than if I do that with any of the other knives that I have. And again, I do like this Riffle. The ergonomics are pretty good. I don't love that this comes down so much. It pushes your pinky out a little too much for my liking. I wish it was just a little less of an angle. I think this knife would be a lot better. And I also wish that the drop point was kind of more standard. I wish it was, coming out further and then coming out later, or a little bit less, dramatic of a curve in the belly. For me, I think for my knives, for my EDC knives, I appreciate that more, because when you're trying to cut through something, when you get to this belly, sorry, I just realized I'm off screen because I moved it down so you guys could see. But when you're trying to push through your cut, if you get down to that belly part, it tends to want to slip out when it gets to this round part. And when you get to like a drop point like the feldspar, the less dramatic curving prevents that from happening. I mean, this is a minor complaint, but I think those little quality of life changes for this knife probably would have made it more popular. The thumb deploy works really, really well. You just got to know where to put your the thumb, the reverse flick. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is happening today. The reverse flick on this is really nice. I do like that. The action on it's really good. I'm not really good at the thumb deploy. You see, I don't know quite how much tension to put on there to do it, because if you push too hard, you end up like that limp flick, like right there. And I'm not quite sure where to stick my thumb to do it. So if I'm going to deploy it without middle finger flicking, I'm just going to use the tab, to be honest with you. You let me know if there's a trick to it out there in the comments, if you have this and you carry this and that's your baby, or you're carrying that so much you know exactly how to deploy that. Let me know what you guys are carrying this week. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out so much on the channel. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss future videos. I hope all of you guys have a wonderful week. Thanks for tuning in today. Peace.